How do you feel about negotiations? How many of you love to negotiate? Let me see your hands. All right, I'm thinking I got 6 or 8 hands. How many of you have a little reluctance or apprehension when you know negotiation is forthcoming? Let me see your hands. You are very normal if you raised your hand. There's a book of lists which says that the number one common human fear before death by burning and death by drowning is speaking before a group. It's one reason that not everybody wants to get up and talk in front of people. I think negotiation is just a short distance behind it. And you're going to hear about the disease known as negotiophobia. And when Dr. George Lucas and I wrote the One Minute Negotiator, a book of which you have a copy now, we talk about that, and I'll get into that in just a few minutes. But apprehension aside, we're going to talk between now and 11:30 this morning. We'll have a little break in the middle, but we're going to talk about the essence of negotiations in a manner that will give you tools, techniques, strategies, and tactics that will enable you to be better armed than ever before as you go into a negotiation. So let's talk about where we're going with this. Now, when you talk about the title of our book, The One Minute Negotiator, Lucas and I were doing a book tour when the book came out, and it created some good early momentum that helped us get on the New York Times and Wall Street Journal bestseller list. But we had a Q&A session at one point, and this guy said, "Hey, guys, I got a question for you. How can you negotiate anything in 1 minute? 1 minute goes by like that." And George Lucas has a great story, which I'm going to tell you right now. He did a speech in New York, and he flew from New York to Nashville where his son was playing in a junior golf event, really good golfer. So George flew from New York to Nashville, got a rental car, and drove out to Dixon, Tennessee, it's 45 miles or something, to attend the golf tournament, and then he was going to turn in the rental car there and ride back with his family to Memphis. So he's at the rental car counter in Nashville. And as he walks up to the counter, he gives the rental car guy his name, and the guy says, "Yes, sir, Dr. Lucas, we got your contract right here." He turned around and he pointed it out to him, and he said, "You need to sign here, 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 and here, and we've got you ready to go." And George is looking down the contract, and it says, "Drop charge, Dixon, Tennessee, $100. And George says, "Wow, $100 drop charge? I'm only going to Dixon. It's not but what, 40 or so miles?" And George is thinking, you know what, with just a short negotiation with this guy, maybe I can get it knocked down from $100 to 50, right? Might be able to achieve that in just a few seconds. And the guy said, "Well, sir, as a matter of fact, I think $100 might be a little bit high if you're going to drop it off in Dixon." He said, "How about 25? Is that okay?" George said, "I had a different number in mind, but that'll work." Less than a minute, boom, saved 75 bucks. Sometimes we can negotiate in a minute. Now, if you're selling locomotives to a large railroad, it's not going to be a 1 minute deal to sell a $113 million locomotive. So it becomes more complex. And we'll talk about those complexities and the tactics that go with them as we move through our agenda today.